he sacrificed himself to save people's lives.
These lives are not lost in vain.
First tonight, vigils, memorials, and calls for peace. After tragedy on board a MAX train, the message powerful, the emotion palpable. 2 men murdered, another hurt, while standing up to hate.
But when I think about somebody hurting Micah, it's just shocking, it's hurtful.
It's been more than 24 hours since what Portland's mayor is calling a horrific act of racist violence. The city and the country are still coming to grips with exactly what happened and praising those who jumped in to help.
Their actions were brave and selfless and should serve as an example and inspiration to us all.
Police say the suspect, Jeremy Christian, was shouting obscenities and hate speech at 2 young girls on the train, one of them wearing a hijab. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nina Melhuff. It is a story that is dominating local and national headlines. Tonight, we are learning more about the 3 strangers who came to the rescue of those young girls. They have been identified as 53-year-old Ricky Best of Happy Valley. He was an Army veteran who died this Memorial Day weekend. He was also a City of Portland employee. 23-year-old Talisha Namkai Meche of Southeast Portland. He's one of 9 children and a recent graduate of Reed College. And a third man, 21-year-old Micah Fletcher, a Portland State student, was also hurt and is recovering in the hospital. We have team coverage tonight with more on the victims and the grieving community. But we start with Christine Pitawanich live at the Hollywood Transit Station in Northeast where the stabbing happened. Christine, a very calm and loving scene behind you tonight, very different than yesterday.
It really is, Nina, and it was a very emotional vigil tonight here at the Hollywood Transit Center. It started around 6:30, and hours later, people are still here. And I can tell you there are a number of growing memorials, a couple near the street, one up the stairs near me, and another very large one here behind me. You can see a lot of powerful, heartfelt messages scribbled out in chalk along the wall, along the sidewalk here. Today, hundreds of people showed up to pay their respects to the men many are calling heroes.
They had courage! They had courage!
This crowd of hundreds came out to the Hollywood Transit Center to bring attention to the 2 men who were stabbed and killed and one who was injured on a MAX train yesterday afternoon.
I'm Talisha's papa. Usually I have something to say, but my words are coming pretty hard today.
Talisha Namkai Meche's parents came to the vigil.
His heart was big as the world.
His sister says he was a loving and compassionate person.
Everything that he did in his life, he had purpose. He worked for an environmental consulting agency as a career, had just bought a house, had a girlfriend, wanted to get married and have babies.
Both he and Ricky John Best died after being stabbed. A woman who identified herself as Best's mother didn't want to be on camera, but told us he was a dedicated dad, had been in the military, and didn't stand for people picking on others.
We lost 2 great humans. People that were willing to put themselves in harm's way just on their daily commute.
Police say they came to the defense of 2 young girls on the MAX, one of whom was Muslim. Police say this man, Jeremy Christian, was shouting things that could be characterized as hate speech.
And I think it's okay to be angry right now.
A third man, Micah David Cole Fletcher, was also stabbed. He's also being called a hero. Fletcher is expected to be okay. His best friend describes him as a talented poet and musician who spoke out against injustice and discrimination.
It hurts to know that somebody will harm somebody that positive.
At the vigil, some people had messages to parents.
Your son was amazing because he saved the lives of probably 2 Muslim women.
And some directed pointed questions at the crowd.
What would you do?
Stand up!
But whatever their purpose for coming, all these people with their candles, compassion, and caring showed how Portland comes together in times of tragedy.
These lives are not lost in vain.
So heartbreaking. U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler, and Portland Commissioner Amanda Fritz also stopped by. And while this is a really horrific thing that happened, the loved ones that I spoke with say that seeing these messages, their heartfelt messages out here, all the memorials, is really beautiful. Nina?
It is powerful, even at 11 o'clock at night with those people behind you. Christine, thank you. Well, a lot of people on board that MAX train, of course, witnessed the horrific murders of those two victims. Tonight, one of them shared his account with us, including what might have been one of the victims' last words. KGW's Catherine Cook is live at the Muslim Educational Trust in Tigard, where another peace vigil just wrapped up. Catherine?
Nina, the witness we spoke with tonight said the attack happened quickly, and those who stepped in to help acted bravely.
Well, yesterday I was, on the MAX. I caught the Green Line downtown.
It was just a couple stops from downtown to the Hollywood district, but for Rodney Haven, it was the longest MAX ride of his life.
I was over here, and the situation was here, about 12 or 13 feet away from me.
He says he heard a man yelling racial slurs, claiming free speech.
And it got louder and louder, and a few more people started getting away from there.
He didn't see the two young women, one of them a Muslim, the police say the suspect was targeting. He did see two of the men who stepped in to stop him. Before long, he says the suspect, Jeremy Christian, was surrounded.
Because he was boxed in. He was trying to get out that way, but he tried to go this way, and so therefore he couldn't get out this way, and so therefore then he took and pulled out his knife.
Haven says there was a lot of blood as Christian attacked them. One of the men, 53-year-old Ricky John Best, died on the train. The other, 23-year-old Talishan Amkai Meche, was alive as medics loaded him onto the gurney, but died on the way to the hospital. Haven says he talked with another passenger who was near Talishan as he left and heard what might have been his last words.
He said that to tell everybody on the MAX that I love them, so that's, that's pretty special.
Back live in Tigard, you can see several people from the Muslim community are still here tonight after gathering to remember the victims and to celebrate Ramadan. Hundreds of them were inside tonight. They filled the Muslim Educational Center here, including many visitors. Today actually was the first full day of Ramadan, a time of fasting and a religious celebration in Islam. Faith leaders say now more than ever, we need to focus on unity.
This senseless tragedy happened on the eve of our holy month, in the eve of our blessings month, the month of mercy, a period that draws Muslim communities together with intention for peace and harmony. My dear sisters and brothers, let us stand for that peace and harmony. Let us say enough is enough.
Portland Police Chief Mike Marshman and Mayors Ted Wheeler from Portland and the Hillsborough Mayor were also here as visitors and special guest speakers. Nina, they also talked extensively about peace. Back to you.
Catherine, thank you. As soon as the scope of this tragedy was realized last night, city and state officials got together with members of minority communities. And today, police, politicians, attorneys, and faith leaders sent a message of solidarity.
I am so heartbroken by the hate, violence, and the loss of two brave, compassionate lives yesterday evening.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown speaking the words so many of us are feeling. She spoke in front of Muslim leaders, in front of children, in front of Baptist church leaders, all together trying to strengthen ties and remember the three innocent men who stepped in to help.
They did the right thing. Their actions were brave and selfless and should serve as an example and inspiration to us all. They are heroes.
And strong words about what will happen after the wheels of justice decide on that suspect, Jeremy Christian, who the FBI is also looking into for possible federal hate crime charges.
There's a day of reckoning coming. There's a day of accountability that will come, and we need your help to get there.
We will have much more on this developing story in just a few minutes, including what we have learned about that suspect and why he was already on police radar.